Hello and welcome to Wageningen University and Research. I'm Lizzie, and in this video I'm joined by two people from the Masters of Earth and Environmental Science. So let's start off with some introductions.
Hi, I'm Arnold Moene. I'm an associate professor in the Meteorology and Air Quality group.
Hello, I'm Callum Clark. I am an international student from New Zealand.
Excellent. So in this video we're going to hopefully provide you with some more information about the Masters of Earth and Environment Science. So can you briefly explain what the program is about?
Yes, the program studies our Earth system, and then for us that ranges from a few hundred meters below the surface until the top of the atmosphere. And we are trying to understand processes that occur in the system, but also the processes that occur between the different parts of the system, for instance between plants and the atmosphere, or between the soil and the surface water. And with this process knowledge we also try to make well-informed choices about the management of our environment.
And so Callum, why did you choose this program?
Well, I've always had an interest in the environment, and through my bachelor I was able to, luckily enough, do some development work in the Philippines, and just seeing firsthand how reliant they are on soil and water really sort of pushed me to continue my education.
Yeah.
And then of course I found this master and specialization specifically on those topics, and it was a very straightforward choice for me.
Yeah, excellent. And what specializations are available in the program?
So there are 4 specializations. So there's hydrology and water resources, meteorology and air quality, biology and chemistry of soils and water, and soil geography and earth surface dynamics.
And how does a student select a specialization?
Well, there are 2 ways in which you can do that. It can be that you really have a very clear idea before you come here and you say, well, I want to do research in this topic, and that belongs to this specific specialization. It could also be that you come here and then you have the first period, you have compulsory courses where you get acquainted with the different topics, and based on that you start to fiddle around and find out which kind of specialization you want to follow.
And so what courses are available, and is there any flexibility in the program?
Yeah, so there's in the first period there are 2 courses which are compulsory for all students, and they cover both the techniques and the topics that we have in common as an entire program. And then based on your specialization, there are a number of courses that belong to each specialization, and there is also some room for free choice. But the most important part, I think, of your program is your thesis and internship, which come at the end.
Definitely. And so speaking of courses, what was the most exciting course that you have done in the program, and why?
It's a tough question because, as you say, we have flexibility, so you tend to choose courses that you're really interested in. But for me personally, I really enjoyed the academic consultancy training, purely because you are working on like a real life project. And so we were doing some work with farmers in Madagascar. And
so, awesome.
Yeah, there are a whole range of projects every year, they're different, and so for me that was really satisfying being able to work on something like that.
Definitely. And so can you give some examples of thesis topics that students have recently completed?
Well, if I would go to topics, then it would be very detailed. But since we have such a broad field of study, I mean, it ranges from earthworms to typhoons to the global carbon cycle. So it's quite diverse, and it covers all the topics that are covered by the different research groups that are part of this program.
Yeah, definitely. And so Callum, you have completed your thesis, correct?
Yes, yeah. I did my thesis in the chair group of soil quality, the research group, and it was focused on the greenhouse gas nitrous oxide, and basically we were looking at different combinations of grassland species and whether certain combinations resulted in significantly lower emissions, but to be able to tell farmers to use a specific combination.
And are you currently doing your internship then?
Yes, I'm also doing an internship again on nitrous oxide, but this one is more related to extracting nutrients from human waste and applying an algal product as a fertilizer, and measuring nitrous oxide from that. Yeah.
Sounds interesting. And so what are some relevant bachelor's degrees or background knowledge required to be accepted into the program?
Yeah, well, in general terms, if you have a bachelor degree in an earth sciences related topic, or a natural sciences topic like physics or biology or chemistry, then generally you are admissible. But of course, since, well, it just depends on your exact program, there's always the individual decision which needs to be taken. But this is the general type of student that is more or less directly admissible.
And if a student did not have sufficient background knowledge, is there like a pre-masters or some other courses that they could take?
Yeah, so there's either the option if to take specific courses or a minor during your current bachelor, if you still have the possibility to change or adapt that, or otherwise there's the option of a pre-master up to 30 credits to prepare you to make the bridge between your bachelor degrees and our program.
And what are the typical jobs that graduates from this program go into?
Yeah, so, well, it's quite diverse, but for example, students are working in jobs that are related to policy advice on water management, for instance. There are students who are going pursuing a career in science, so they're going for a PhD or a research institute. There are students who work in consultancy firms, and that can range from environmental topics like soil pollution or noise reduction, but it could also be advice on well, how to arrange land use and things like that. So it can be quite diverse, from very applied to very basic research.
And are these opportunities equal for both Dutch and international students?
Well, in principle, there are job opportunities for both, but the special thing, of course, is that a number of the types of jobs that are more related to the practical side and also policy related, and then you end up in a condition where speaking Dutch is an issue. So what you see is that most international students who stay in the Netherlands go for research type of jobs and not so much for the applied jobs. But they find their way anyway, either in their home country or another foreign country or the Netherlands.
So I also know that this university offers the Masters of Environmental Science. So what is the difference between the Masters of Environmental Science and this Masters of Earth and Environment?
Well, that's a good question. In fact, we study the same domain, but our viewpoint is completely different. And whereas environmental sciences looks at the interaction between people and society with their environment and how they change things and how they should adapt to these changes, Earth and Environment looks at the processes, and we try to understand how the system works, and with this process understanding we can come up with solid choices when it comes to management and also for projections for how things will change in the future. But the main difference is process understanding in Earth and Environment versus interaction between society and the environment for environmental sciences.
Awesome. And so Callum, what is it like to study here?
Well, the first thing that you should know is that Wageningen is incredibly international. It's a very unique environment to be in, and I'm not sure there'll be many places quite like it. Considering it is such a small place, I wouldn't let that detract from anything, because you're close to anything that you need. But also, the relationship between students and lecturers, for example, is quite informal, which might be different to many people, to what they know. But there's also a whole lot of extracurricular things that they offer at the university here. For example, when you first arrive, they have the annual introduction days, where you get put with a bunch of students and do a whole lot of really fun things for a week, just to find your bearings and to get settled in. Which I think is a really good way to start the academic year. So there's plenty of opportunities. It is a small place, but it's a lot of fun, and I'd highly recommend it.
Excellent. And so on to our final question. If somebody watching this video would like more information about this specific program, is there someone that they can contact?
Yeah, so I think your first stop would be the website of the program, which answers already a lot of questions. But of course, your personal questions are also important, and for that we have a special email address where you can contact the program with your specific questions about the contents and also about the admission.
Excellent. And that email address will be displayed on the screen. Well, thank you very much for being here and answering my questions. Sadly, that is all we have time for today, but I hope that we provided you with some more information about the Masters of Earth and Environment. If you have additional questions regarding the admissions process, then I would encourage you to email students@WUR.nl. In addition, if you would like information about the university in general, then please check out the video called Essentials for Studying at Wageningen University. Thank you very much for watching, and we will hopefully see you here in the future at Wageningen University.